Okay, the good sister has joined us. We had a little technical difficulties, but it's all good. We're gonna work this bad boy out. You know what I'm saying? Of course, y'all know me, and if you don't, your brozo here in the Polka Dot Rabbit podcast. And as you know, if you haven't already seen this podcast is here to uplift humanity. In addition, we are here to reawaken the melanated zombies that have been asleep for a very long time and finally starting to wake up. And I'm definitely glad to be a part of that. Getting this information to the people. And of course, if you haven't already, please go to polka.rabbitpodcast.com and pick up my book, Bicultural Living and Leaving the World of Illusions. Brief story about how I got here, you know what I'm saying, on my journey. And as y'all know, enough about me. Now it's time to get into the meat and potatoes. I have a new guest, new face here, the sister Neteru The Light. I am going to let you introduce yourself, what you do, how long you've been doing it, and go ahead and take your time. Go ahead and tell the people what's up.
All right. I'm first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for allowing me to come on with you and engage with the people. It's my pleasure. Like he said, my name is Neteru The Light. I have been on my journey towards ascension, and I say towards because it never ends. But I've been on my journey for about 15 years now, and it has been a beautiful journey. Along my journey, I have watched myself transmute the darkness into the light. So from that moment, God has started to impart the spirit upon me to give these things to the planet and help everybody else right now. So that's what it's all about. I wanted to go ahead and just let you know, peace. It's really a beautiful time to be alive. We are in the middle of a massive awakening that has felt like it's just began. But in reality, the earth has been preparing for this imminent shift for ages. And there are angelic beings all around us that want to remind us that we are light, and the only purpose for us being here during this planetary era is to align with the higher mind and attune with the vibration of the new earth. So, what is the Christ consciousness? And that's how we want to kind of let you know that this is about the Christ consciousness. Mm. And before I get started, I want to let you know that I already said I'm not going to talk about any religious doctrine. I am a historian by nature. So I have studied many religions. I have studied Buddhism, Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, so many. I don't want to name them because right now I want to evoke the spirit aspect of man. We're not carnal beings. We are spiritual beings, and religious is the separator. It's the divider. It's the block from the spirit, because then it turns into it's about our beliefs. It's about our state of being. What our titles are, but in reality, it is about the state of being. It is about the heart vibration. It is about the spirit. So I'm not going to talk about the religious aspect of what the Christ consciousness is. What I want you to realize that the Christ consciousness is a state of mind. It is a reality. It is a vibration. It is a realm of thought, a perspective, and it is enlightenment. Essentially, it is when we take on the mind of Christ. So you ask, okay, how is it achieved? How is this Christ state of consciousness achieved? And it is achieved by accessing the internal keys and unlocking the God in you through spirit. So that sounds like it's something that is very easily said, but it's not easily achieved. Mm-hmm. So the only way we can do that is by knowing that the temple is inside of ourselves. We are the temple. That means we are the subject. Nothing outside of us is to be looked for. Everything that we need to ascend, elevate, evolve, and be the highest version of ourselves is found in the heart. So we are the key subject. It's not about what we can learn in the books. It's not about what we can look up in the sky for, but it is about what is inside of you. So I'm really excited to finally be able to help the other people on the planet to know that it's not about your beliefs, but it's about your heart chakra. So many of us, we get the knowledge, we get the spirit, we get the wisdom, we get the science, and we go on to just start to be all in our beliefs. We create a whole doctrine on a whole nother, we're just like the Christians now. So we have to be reminded that we are the temple and we are the spirit, and it's not about the body.
Yeah. Yeah. And definitely, this is a day and time, in which that is becoming more and more, obvious, you know what I mean, with this mass awakening, the age of Aquarius. And I'm going to ask you a question. So the name Neteru The Light, how did you come up with that?
Neteru The Light is a name that was given to me by my master teacher. And I do have a master teacher on this planetary realm, someone that has ushered me into a higher vibration. And this season, I'm granted a new awakening within my spirit. I'm granted a new level of receiving and being. And my master teacher, his name is Master Clark, Master Amaka Clark. And he gave me that name through a name ceremony. And it resonated within my spirit, and I go by it now because I did go through a physical death. I went through a physical death and I went through a spiritual death. So now I'm as with the rebirth. So
in the name itself, Neteru, so you study Kemetic information? Is that correct?
Yes, I have actually. Yes.
Yeah.
And what I do know about the Neteru is that the Neteru is the body of the gods. What that means is it's the Neteru are the aspects, the principles of God. They're physical beings, but they are principles. And the reason why it resonates within me so powerfully is because I am the all, and I am to the all. I'm one with each principle, each aspect. I am Horus. I am Heru. I am Set. I am Sekhmet. I am Ptah. I am everything. So I am the body of the gods, so it resonates with me.
And if we could like go back in time in a time machine, and go back to the time in which you didn't have this insight, you didn't have this, this outlook, and you were given the small information to get on this journey. How did you look at that, pre-awakening? You know what I mean? Like you said, were you already a part of a religion, or how did your path go as far as enlightenment? You personally?
That's a very good question, because my father is actually a pastor, and my father is a preacher. He has 2 churches, and I grew up in the church, but I did not receive any type of information that resonated with my spirit at that time. Now, fast forward now, I am able to get the Bible and receive and see it through the mind's eye, but it did not tap me into the spirit because I was blind. I was lost, one sheep that could not see. So growing up, I began as a Christian in the church, and that journey began, and it did not evolve me until I accessed the internal parts of my being. When I accessed myself through my diet changes, through my spiritual awakening, by conscious seeking, that's what got my spirit to rise. It wasn't the traditions, it wasn't the things that I was growing up as.
So, in saying all of that, were you considered like the black sheep of the family, since everybody else was all quote unquote Christified, and were you sitting there back looking at it like, I don't know why everybody's doing this. What's the excitement? Were you put in that category?
Yeah, absolutely. I was definitely the black sheep of the family when it comes to just
We're the club.
Me being just wanting to always be different and always going against the grain.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to expect your black sheep card. And see if it hasn't expired yet. So, but yeah. So I can definitely relate with that. So now, since you like, it's kind of interesting what you just said. Now, since you've seen the different insight when it comes to the principles, comedic principles, and etc. Like when you look at religion now, what do you see? Like if you look at the Bible now, you know what I'm saying, and how do you view it now as opposed you might have seen it before the enlightenment, or even the Quran, or even the Torah? Like how do you look at it now? These things now.
I went through a powerful evolution when it comes to my perspective of the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
When I first came into the knowledge that in 325 AD, the Council of Nicaea was created, and the personification of Christ became a figure, and they would Serapis, they would use him to be the image of Christ. I realized it's all a lie. Something, and instantly I hate the Bible. Get it away from me. But when I became more developed spiritually, in my awakening, I began to embrace the Bible because the Holy Spirit is real. The Holy Spirit is the only spirit that is a real thing. Anything outside of the Holy Spirit is an illusion. It is a projection from the evil one or the lower one. So when it came to the Bible now, when I look at the Bible, I can see the truth. I can read the truth. I can receive the Spirit. What happened with me was through my awakening, me not being skilled with the Bible, me not being coerced with the scriptures of the Bible, but being able to receive the wisdom from the Bible, the word in myself, me getting the messages from the New Testament in my soul. So that's what drew me to it, and realized that there is a very powerful message here. But erected the Christ consciousness within me to realize I'm one with this spirit. I'm one with it. I walk with it. I act with it. I speak with it. I think with it. I vibrate with it. I live with it. And I realized that Christ was not a Christian. And it wasn't the fact that he wasn't real, or he was black, or he was white, or he is real, but that spirit is real, and it can walk among the earth. And no matter what the name of it, whether it say Jesus, and it wasn't Jesus, it was the Spirit of Christ, and that spirit has returned, and that spirit isn't to be worshipped externally as if it's something that we cannot see, but that spirit must be worshipped within ourselves by loving ourselves, by having sacred communion with the temple, sacred communion with the body, with the mind, with the soul, through meditation, through yoga, through the 5 laws of holistics, what my master teacher has taught, which is meditation, fitness, nature, nutrition, and arts.
No, it's real interesting because I had a similar experience because like I remember when I grew up Catholic at first, and then I went to Pentecostal Holiness. But see, on that road, I got introduced by information from Dr. York, right? And when I was reading that information, all the stuff from the Bible, he was breaking it down in such a way, and I'm just like, oh my God, like I never even looked at it this way. Just from a standpoint of, I was at that time, I was kind of like, what, I'm running my mom. I'm like, Mom, look, this is what it really says. You know what I'm saying? But, Dad, look, this is really how it looks like in the language, and being, what's the word? Immature, spiritually immature. Let's just put it to that way. I'm like sitting there telling my mom, this not really right. This is wrong. This right. And like later on, once I started getting mature, the same thing you were saying, it's like, No, number one is you don't want to take your Christ Jesus away from your mom or dad. You know what I'm saying? Let them have that. You know what I'm saying? But it took me a while to even get to like what you were explaining about, looking at that for the true meaning of it, as opposed to just the, what do we call it in masonry? Like looking at it through an operative perspective, as opposed to a speculative perspective. You know what I mean? And
you have to look at it like you are not even your body. Your body is in your mind. Your mind is not your body is in your mind.
Yeah.
Is in your body, and your body is in your mind. So that means yes, with your own life, you're able to move through life outwardly, inwardly. Controlling the all, knowing that you're one with the all.
Yeah, exactly.
Through a deep level of growth, and growth can be coming to us in various forms. It can come to us through dark times. It can come through us through relationships, through connections, through food, through situations. But growth is always coming in various ways. And I to say the consciousness of Christ is a high vibration. It is a decalcified pineal gland. It is a unblocked heart chakra, and it is an electromagnetic being. That means that it is a marriage between logic and reasoning. It's a marriage between love and light. The heart and mind are what makes up a high vibratory being. So the heart is magnetic, the brain is electrical, and this is why you are an electromagnetic being. Because we are putting these things together to access heaven on earth. The brain and the heart must marry, a sacred union between spirit and matter. So no matter what's going on the planet, we must be able to spiritualize matter. We must be able to be one in heart. We must be purified through no matter what experience it is. And you and I, we just had that same similar example just now. We were technical difficulties for a whole hour and 30 minutes, and instead of us being able to be defeated by it or succumb by it, we maintained a positive mind state and was able to push through it. So this is the examples of how we should do life. And doing no matter what, without allowing the darkness or the defeat to defeat you, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree. So another question, okay? Because I know from what I saw, you do Reiki, and you do you do other tools in which you assist the people with. Could you kind of talk about the different tools that you've done and how you got to that? How you got introduced to each one?
Absolutely. Reiki has become my new love. It's one of the best things that I could ever learn, because it has healed my life. I'm not using my own energy. I'm using the universal life force energy. So that means my body becomes a channel and a conduit, a vessel to deliver the wisdom, the spirit, the electricity. So I'm using the chi energy, the life force energy, by purifying myself, and I have been trained. I've reached a level of mastery to move energy now with my hands, or not with, or without my hands, and I can now heal myself. I can heal other people, and it's a gift. It's a gift because I don't need it for myself, but when I'm using it for other people, a healing takes place that is globally. That's felt. Anyone that's connected to that energetic region is impacted. Any connections. You know how the flower of life is. Everything is interconnected. Everything is one. So that's how the life force energy works. When it moves, anything that is able to receive it will receive it. And some people call it the Holy Spirit. Some people call it the universal life force energy. Some people call it the stellar radiance. Some people call it the positive magnetism. And there's a scientific term for it as well, that afloat issues that allows the openings to take place. So I was introduced to Reiki by just exploring more of how I can heal myself and what I can do to use my gifts, because I've always been a healer.
Mm-hmm.
Not just me. Everybody. We are all healers. We all have the ability to tune into ourselves, to heal ourselves. And once we get so powerful to heal ourselves, we're now able to project healing to others with our gifts. So I became a Usui Reiki Master. That's my lineage. And since then, I'm able to channel light. And if you research Kemetic history, there was a closeness and a connection to the sun, which is called Ra in Kemet. Mm-hmm. And there is a connection to the sun where we should all have this ability to channel light and be one with the light. Mm-hmm. And that's what I do every day. I take pleasure in it, brings me joy. And that's how people can book me. They can book a private session. I've had astounding reviews as far as how the energy is working.
Is it anything else besides Reiki that you do?
Absolutely. I also am a certified yoga technician. I'm in the process of getting a new level of certification so that I can do more accreditations with the Yoga Alliance. And I'm also a published author. So within the packages that I deliver for people, I implore them to get the full experience, mind, body, soul. So I have the book here. This is the book that I authored. I published this book. It's called Wisdom 101, The Ultimate Journal. It's a workbook. And within this book, you can start your own journey and be impacted by the spirit to get invigorated on a holistic level.
So we have, let me go through the list now. We have yoga, Reiki, author.
And I'm also a minister where I'm ministering to others. I'm offering healing services. I'm using prayer, attunements. I'm using an all-in-one experience to heal people.
You know, it's really interesting because I recently got into, actually one of the good sisters that was on here. I'm not sure if she's still on here now, but I was introduced to a whole group of people down in Atlanta that deal with healing, you know, and it is amazing to me now because growing up, you know what I mean, you just didn't see a lot of people that don't even know what Reiki is, you know, or even know how it is as far as healing and anything like that, you know. And it's so amazing now because this day and time we're in, it's just like you have so many different individuals that are true, you know, healers that are here for us to heal. Now, when did you first start to see that you had this gift to heal?
My first time knowing that I was a healer was in 2012 when I remember driving down the road and just intuitively, spiritually, I would just point my finger on my arm, which is my pointer, which is obviously the direction, the finger of power, yes. And I was able to, I was directed through spirit to just tap my arm, and there was like a bump, mosquito bite or something, I don't know what it was. And I was able to tap on it, and just by me touching it and firming my pressure at that moment, I looked down and it was gone. Fast forward, I have people in my family who just get the healing. Before I became a certified Reiki master, if they have anything going on with them, I'm able to touch them and put my intention into the energy and allow it to flow. I could demonstrate some healing for you if you like, and I could do it for everyone. It will be my pleasure. because I can do remote healings. I don't have to touch you, and Reiki, I don't use touch. But my first healing experience, I was able to touch myself and realize, wow, I can heal. And we all can. So that's the realizing that the temple is you, and the God is within you. And it's not about the beliefs, it's not about the religion, it's not about the titles, it's only about connecting to yourself and using yourself as your life patient, using yourself as your life work.
So could you, for the individuals that are kind of new to this, because could you kind of explain what Reiki is specifically and how, maybe the origins, how it started, and how it's utilized to help people?
Absolutely. So Rei means universe, and Ki means life force. Like Ki means life force. So Reiki is universal life force. So the Reiki healer, that means you are attuned to the vibration of the life force energy, which is always present 100% of the time, 24/7. Time doesn't exist, but if you want to use, like, to know eternally the life force energy is existing. Eternally the spirit is existing. So Usui is an ancient Japanese master who came up with these motions and these ancient symbols to create healings. So Reiki is modeled after him. There's a Western technique and there's a Kemetic technique. And each way you're learned and skilled with different symbols according to the culture. However, Reiki is the ability to move energy and infuse it, but not using your own energy. You understand? So right now, I could, like, I'd love to. If you want to, just kind of everybody here, if you want to join in, you can do so. Just relax. Let's take a moment to relax. And we will begin by opening our hearts. We will welcome the love vibration by operating with a pure heart. We will welcome the spirit of freedom, the spirit of inquisitiveness, being free like a child, being hopeful, being willing, being able, being courageous. So with your open heart, and you can go as fast as you can. And while you're doing this, you want to keep your chin up as well. And you want to release it. Do you feel that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this is the universal life force energy. This is not your energy. This is not my energy. This is the universal life force energy. Now I would like to infuse this energy into your heart and open your heart and give you love and give you peace and give you the high vibration. Do you feel that?
Mm-hmm.
So
it's calming.
It's what?
Calming.
Yes.
Soothing.
Yes, absolutely. It's a healing technique, and no matter what the issue is, there's nothing that the universal life force energy can't heal. My mother had a stroke a few years ago and was pretty much almost dying, and we just put our hands in front of her, and she couldn't walk, she couldn't speak. Within the next day, she was walking and speaking.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So that's the power of a pure heart. That's the power that each and every being has access to. I am a conduit. We are all gifted with the gift to be one with God. By being one with God and a pure heart, God will enter you and be used and allow you to be used by giving you access to keys and healing. Or I don't need crystals. I don't need sound bowls. I don't need sage. Those things are great. I love those things are great for everyone. If you want to use anything, I have realized that the power is within me. I am the sage. I am the crystal. I am that. I am.
This is a question, because you always have people. My the way I've just been taught and learned, just dealing with the power of melanin and etc. You know, um, especially when you can tap into it and utilize it, as an ally for you, spiritually, mentally, physically, and etc. Now, is melanin something once it's active or something like that can assist you in aiding you in this type of using it as a conduit for the energy? Is that something that you can utilize?
Absolutely. Spirit we began, but the first substance that spirit interacted with is melanin, because across the ether is melanin. So all of life has melanin. There's nothing on the planet without melanin.
Mm-hmm.
The trees, the universe is black because there's melanin. So melanin is the enricher. By decalcifying your pineal gland, you're more able to use that superconductor to allow your melanin to use for your good.
I had to become very realistic and kind of drop the fantasy about melanin stuff like that, and it because you hear all these great things, but it's like anything else, like you're saying, like you're dealing with like your third eye, your pineal gland. If you're not using it correctly, then it's not working with you to its full extent. Right. Yeah.
Right. But there's a lot of melanin going to waste, but then that melanin is very powerful.
Yeah.
You understand, like that melanin is so powerful. Because if you look at it, it makes you faster, it makes you stronger. You don't really have to be the most intelligent brain surgeon on the planet to allow your melanin to work for you. So it is the most powerful substance in the universe.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm with you, and it's like I think about it a lot, and that's why I kind of going back to earlier what I was saying about all these different teachers, including you, that I'm meeting, because it's like we're really I always say that melanated beings, Nubians specifically, or Nubians, whatever you want to call them, we're like right now we're like supercomputers without the chip, because we have lost a lot of knowledge. We're starting to regain it and wake back up. But it's like Professor Jane Smalls. I talk about this all the time. Like Professor Jane Smalls is like, you black people aren't who you used to be. And I think about like even the stuff reading like the Egyptian Book of the Dead and some of the Kemetic texts about what these beings would do. And it's amazing because I feel as though you can see the reawakening in us that are starting to utilize these sciences now.
The new seeds that are coming in, the children that are born, they are automatically with the knowledge. They're automatically knowing the way.
Yeah.
They have it more harder than we had it because the infiltrators, they're more aware of what to expect. They were waiting for them before they came. So now that we come out of the womb, they already have these plans set into play to go really hard on them to stop their awakening. But it's naturally there.
I know, like specifically, my seeds. When I like, if I have a book lying around with Kemetic writing, or anything like that, they're automatically drawn to it, and they just ask questions. What is this? What is this? You know what I'm saying? And it's like they know, but they just have to get guidance to remember. You know what I mean? And it to me, going back to what you saying earlier, this is such an amazing time, because I'm gonna tell you something. Real talk, like when I walk under the sun now, it feels nothing like it did 10 years ago. This reality we're living in now, it's not the same. You know what I mean? Dr. Delbert Blair, he would always talk about how the planet Earth was going from the third dimension. He says always it's graduating to the fifth dimension.
Grad school.
Yeah, grad school. Yeah.
Third dimension to the fifth dimension.
Yeah, exactly.
That is my master. That is that is deceived in the ancestral realm. You know,
Yeah,
I follow Dr. Dover Blair. I follow his teachings. He inspired my journey heavily, and I pay homage to him. I'm thankful to him for paving the way for us to get out there
exactly.
and try our best to channel his wisdom and give it out to the people and come.
When he was alive, I used to love when he used to come on Blue and Red Pill show. I used to just I'd be so excited every week to listen to him. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, me and my brother, we just sit down like, oh, we gotta listen to Dr. Blair. You know what I'm saying? And I always go through these different phases of listening to different master teachers. It's kind of funny because he's the one I'm like on right now when I go to sleep. Like, you know, I'm always listening to him right now and just like learning so much and much rest in power, double player, man. I love every aspect of your being, and he as well is one of my great master teachers that got me to keep on evolving and growing. And still today, even him on the ancestor realm, I'm still learning from him.
Yes, that is so beautiful. I'm thankful for him, and I'm so thankful that it is going on today, as you just said. And the technologies that he had us awaken to at that time in the 90s and the 2000s is now out there letting us know that he was real. He let us know
Yeah,
about the signs, and I was finally able to see the second sign. I was able to see with my own eyes the two
yeah,
signs. And he talked about the fifth dimension, and we're actually here now. We're finally here. And we
yeah,
realize it's not a location, and it's not a real big change physically,
yeah.
but it's all a big spiritual change, a great perspective that we get to actually live in. I wish he could live in this fifth dimension. And I want to let everybody know that there's nobody else coming to save us. The
Mm-hmm.
fifth dimension is existing right now, eternally, infinitely, and we are finally here. So we have to do the work within ourselves to access it. We have the access to be one with the planet, one with the plants, one with the birds, one with ourselves, one with our family members, in harmony with just all of nature,
Mm-hmm.
So that's the most part. When you embrace that, it's not something outside of you, but within you, you win. You
Yeah,
fight, you are the king.
yeah. Another one of my master teachers, it was that I got into fairly recently. He's deceased as well, Baba Kalindi. He was breaking down some things, and listening to him talk about traversing into the multiverse and able to move interdimensionally. You know, it's such an amazing thing because that's another tool that we utilized for the longest time, and now it's bringing to the forefront as well. You know what I mean? Um, I can't remember who it was. It actually might have been. I think it was actually Dr. Double Blair. Actually, now since I think about it, but he broke one thing down about the pyramids that almost. I swear, when he told me this, when I listened to my neck almost cracked in half. You know what I'm saying? And he was just breaking it down how the pyramid itself was like a almost like a stargate, and the Neteru, the gods, would literally go there, walk through there, and they would go transport to different planets. You know what I'm saying? Where they had, you know, and see, for me, it's all stuff like that. It's not spooky. It's not unrealistic. It all makes sense, and it's still a remembering tool. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? To remember that.
Yeah. And when you travel, it's intergalactically. You don't
Mm-hmm.
go anywhere. And when you
Mm-hmm.
rise the next day, you remember where you were and what you were
Yeah.
doing. But it's always, there are laws to the universe. So we
Yeah.
can't always physically go out of
Mm-hmm.
this earth
Mm-hmm.
until it's time. But
Mm-hmm.
right now, we are able to experience these things through dimensions,
Mm-hmm.
realize portals are within ourselves. We
Yeah.
are portals when we activate our chakra. Each chakra, the energy centers, the wheels of life, when we're one with that, we're vibrating very at fast speeds, and we're able to transmit and receive the signals that we need. And some of us are not equipped to be at a very higher level of consciousness, where that's okay. Everybody has a purpose. Everybody has
Yeah,
Everybody has a
I
plan.
agree.
Even the low vibrations are here to serve in some way. So those with the capacity to lead, I believe they're brought here at this time period. I believe they're brought here, meaning they were born here in this era for now. They're returning. Gods are returning.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I used to have a, I used to have a debate with my sensei and my karate teacher, my sensei, and we were talking about black people, and my sensei, he'd be like, all black people ain't kings and queens. I used to be like, I was like, man, come on, man, they, black folks, you know what I'm saying, and I had it. It took some time for me to really think about the stuff I see today, even in the past, just kind of what you were saying, you know, different people being at higher vibrations at specific times. You know what I mean? And that is a reality. It's a, I had to get snapped out of that again, that fairy tale, that irreality of just all this, grandiose greatness and everybody. No, we're all here for different karmatic reasons, Double Blair said, Dr. Double Blair said, and numerous things. So it's like, for us, the ones that really see it and are able to comprehend even these conversations and this type of information, this is, this is the ascension, like you're saying, where we need to start going to even be able to evolve and be able to deal with this high level vibration. And saying all that, I have a question.
Okay, before you ask your question, can you please hold that question?
Okay, I got you. I'm going to write it down. Go ahead.
Okay. I just want to say that it's not a shock, it's a wave. It's one of my things to say. Whenever we feel like we get chills, when we're in a lower vibration and we get a chill, like, whew, it's a chill because it was higher and bringing us up more than we were. So I just want to remind everyone that it's not a shock, it's a wave. So when you feel chills, that means you got to get on that and stay at that new vibration and move life in that vibratory state. Yeah. So that's what it essentially means to be the temple and allow the Spirit of God to live through you and in you. No matter where you're going or what you're doing, you're allowing that spirit because you're riding that high vibration. And thank you. That's all I want to say that.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yes.
So we talked about Reiki. Now let's talk about yoga. Could you, for some people they might just say, oh, yoga, what the hippies did in the 60s and the Indian people did. And, could you kind of talk about the Kemetic yoga, the origins, etc., and what it exactly is and what it's for?
Okay, so yoga is for the soul. Yoga is life. Every day is yoga. And if we live by the principles of yoga, then we will become better beings. We'll be developed into human beings that are one with spirit. We will be a spiritual aspect of ourselves. So yoga is essentially the breath. It's life. It's the spine. The spine must be erect, and we must be breathing. And these are the keys to heaven, the keys to earth, the keys to ourselves, the keys to the kingdom, and the keys to life.
It was that's pretty heavy. So it is the origins in Kemet, or was it something that was
No, the origins of yoga is in India.
Okay.
That's where yoga began. However, Kemet had the same things around the same, so it's up to the artifacts to let us know who came up with it first. But there are origins of yoga that began in Kemet.
Yeah.
That were on the hieroglyphs, on the Neteru, the walls. There are yoga poses of being one with the sun. These allow us to be embodying the spirits, embodying the Neteru, embodying the high principles of God. Through these yoga poses, we're removing block energy, and it also helps with our chakras. So just by doing the yoga poses and breathing, you're able to access the God aspect.
It's really interesting, and when I was doing yoga, And in the Nuwapian / Sabian community, they had we have a prayer called Pa Ashutat, which is a prayer, right? And it has different ways that you prostrate and move. I just remember looking at the book, and looking at yoga. I was like, they were doing yoga moves in the prayer, and it started all connecting to me. You know what I mean? It made sense. It's like, if you're doing this and being connected with nature and energy, it would make sense to have a specific way that your body would move, while you're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm listening. I'm listening because you're completely right. That is so beautiful. One of the best things that changed my life had to be yoga, because posture is everything.
Mm-hmm.
Way straight is the way. Narrow
Yeah.
is. So it lets us know what's going on. It lets us know we are the temple, the 7 pillars,
Yeah.
the house. That's the 7 chakras. We are the temple. As long as our spine is straight. When our spine is straight and we're able to be at one and allowing our energy centers to speed up all around us, each energy center is alive and moving. Each energy center is awakened and open and moving. We're able to be godlike. We're able to access our powers, our supernatural, which is natural.
Yeah. I think it's very interesting. I want everybody that's watching this, here and after this, for this individual, or even both of us, but I'm going to deal specifically with her, for her to learn this stuff, it didn't happen overnight. You know what I'm saying? It was dedicated studies for her to get through this time, and I can only imagine, because I already know. I tell people all the time, when I started becoming aware, I was doing two things for years. You know what I'm saying? Collectively, no, when I first started getting, number one, I was smoking a blunt. I don't really do it no more, but I was doing that, and I was reading. You know what I'm saying? Nonstop. You know, like, that's all I would do. I would, of course I was, back in the day, but I'd light up and I would just be like, hours. That's all I wanted to do. And the reason why I'm saying all this right now is because for us to grow and ascend, you know what I'm saying, we have to silence the distractions and start to go inside to get this information, because we're here. All this conversation that we're having right now, we're having back and forth. This is the information that we're here to learn, to remember, and to share. Not these distractions of, who won the game last night. And that's your thing. It's all good. But we're here to grow and learn as beings and share. You know what I mean? And I applaud you for all the work that you've done to get where you're at now, and being willing to share and want to heal and teach others. You know what I'm saying? That's going back to what you're saying. That's what, Christ was doing. You know what I mean? He was walking around the globe, just, spitting mad info, you know what I'm saying? Healing people, you know what I'm saying? Using his Reiki, using his magic, healing people. You know what I'm saying? So
What I
don't get
love
it all. Mm-hmm.
that he actually studied from Egypt.
Yep.
He studied in Kemet. He
Yep.
studied through the mystery schools, and
Yep.
that's what I also recommend for everyone, because that's my journey. I
Yeah.
studied a single thing,
Mm-hmm.
so bring it all together. I found out that it's me. I am the key. Within me
Yeah.
is the God.
Yeah.
I'm one with myself. As long as I got me, then I'm good, because energy is everything.
Yeah.
My energy is the way it began, and I can't be anything outside of my spirit and my energy. So I have to always remember that. If I feel off, then if my spirit feels off, then I'm off. If my energy feels good, then I'm good.
Yeah. I think it's really good, for back of a little better lack of a better word, but the way that you consistently say, I'm a part of it all. You know what I mean? And overstanding, yourself in this grand scheme of things, and just being able to overstand that you can connect with everything. Like even like when you were showing your Reiki demonstration and all of that, it's like with that type of mindset and outlook, you know, you look at this place a lot different. You know what I mean? You know, in everything you do. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I do applaud you for all the hard work that you've done to get where you're at now. Let me kind of go back in time a little bit. Now, to get to this journey, did you have a lot of trials and tribulations? Like, and you know, because I hear a lot of people who, you know, including myself, you know, they be, you know, be catching hell for some reason. I don't know if it's, you know, their environment they were in, family. Did you go through a struggle before you got here?
Oh my God. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And the bad news is the struggle does not stop. You know what I'm saying? Like the stop. It's constantly always doing its job. So that's when I realized that my conscious efforts have to be upward because they're not gonna stop. They don't get tired. In Kevin Gates' voice, they don't get tired. The
Yeah.
dark the forces of evil, the infiltrators, the haters, the
Mm-hmm.
people that are used to hurt you or the opposing forces in your life, they don't stop. They're always at it. So that means you have to realize that this is a dualistic universe.
Mm-hmm.
The poles have to be balanced in some kind of way. So if that darkness is going hard, then I have to go harder as light. That means I have to look at things from a different perspective. I have to see it that it's not the external parts that's the trouble, it's the internal parts. Because if I correct the inside, then the external doesn't even bother me anymore. So
Exactly.
the keys are me. No matter what happens, I have to be inside of me and made true to my vibration. Because the darkness doesn't stop. So because
Yeah.
it doesn't stop, I must continue on.
In my different journeys and going to different schools, quote unquote schools, I've come to my own personal realization that these are all personal initiations. You know what I mean? And in an initiation, if anybody's ever been initiated, even if Freemasonic Lodge, African spirituality, you have to go through certain things to come out on the other end. You know, and it just seems to me that the any problem in life, you're always being tested how you respond. And it is initiation. Because once you get to the other side, you've conquered that. You know what I'm saying? You could put a big giant werewolf, a demon in front of you, whatever the case may be. But if you get past that,
Mm-hmm.
you got past that initiation and you're a stronger person.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I agree
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all, that's what here, to keep on striving and, in doing that. So could you kind of, if you would, could you kind of talk about possibly some of your trials and tribulations that you had going to, whatever you feel comfortable with getting on your journey at the beginning part?
At the beginning,
Yeah.
at the beginning, I just want to say that it's very important that we maintain a great diet. We be very clean eating, very conscious when we eat healthy, because
Mm-hmm.
um, that's one of my worst parts that happened to me during this journey. I went
Mm.
through a period of being 4 months vegan and not eating any meat, not taking no medication, not drinking any sodas. Just 4 months period, just veganism. The moment I went in to have a big steak omelet from IHOP and a Coke to drink, after 4 months, my body shut down. I had a panic attack. I was in the hospital for 3 days, and this was the most traumatizing experience
Oh
of
my
this
God.
journey. And it actually uh, grounded me in the position of being healthy because I didn't want to experience that again.
Yeah.
Hi, Williams.
Yeah. I could see it was like your body was in shock. It's like, oh, it's in, running in a smooth thing and it's just a bunch of poison gets thrown in. It's like, what in the world is going on? I can,
So that part of the journey, and then you have the family members. You have
oof.
who who they only want to see you from their program. it's not their fault. We don't take it personal, but everyone has their own program. Everyone has their own perspective. So in your life, you're only connected to them through their awareness, through your identity and their mind.
Yeah.
So they're going to hold on to this thing. They're going to hold on to whatever they believe because they rather hold on than deprogram themselves. Because programming themselves to see you higher would mean they would need to go the extra mile to help themselves, and that's something their demons ain't ready for.
Yeah.
So when you have connections and relationships, family members that do not want to grow with you, that's the most painful part of this journey.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I agree 100%. And it's like, there's different ways you can react to it. You know, you can do, and I'm just going to say the immature route, the spiritually immature route, and the spiritually mature route. Because for me personally, I just realized that you like you said, you want everybody to see what you see. You know what I'm saying? You want everybody to feel what you feel. But like we said earlier, it's not for everybody, you know? So me personally, I just had to learn how to always see the best in those individuals, and not harp on the negative aspects, even though there might be a lot, but always focus on the positive things that those being, even if it's one thing or half a thing, you know, positive on it, or even a quarter. Positive, focus on that positive aspect of them, and just do your best to be positive and keep an open ear if they ever do have questions, to elevate. We have to really realize that, we are, in this lifetime, a lot of these people on the planet, their focus is elsewhere, as far as, really evolving and growing. It's like like the movie The Matrix, people love to be in the Matrix.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But them people in the movie, in the Matrix, the people that got it, they were all living inside the earth, you know what I'm saying? And, had raggedy clothes on, you know what I'm saying? But they were happy, you know what I'm saying? And their whole focus was being the best they could be,
I love that. I really love that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying you should stay positive. Just look at a different perspective when other people come to you and they don't see your new self. They don't see awakening, your journey. They have to not take it personally, and that is a law of Ma'at, which is do not take it personally. And that will help you in life. These things don't. These laws and rules are not to hurt you. If you follow them, you'll have a beautiful life.
Yeah, that's one of the 4 agreements too. No, don't never take anything personal.
Okay, it is a virtue of my.
Yeah, what is it? The 4 agreements: never, don't take anything personal. Be impeccable with your word. Always do your best. I can't remember the other one, but I can't think about it right now. I just saw it recently, but yeah, But,
We can't think of the next one.
Do you know what it is?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
That's why I did. I wish I could do something to help with it.
I'll find it. I'll send it to you. Yeah, but it's a really good book. I'm sure if anybody out there has not read the 4 agreements, please do, because if you, even like she was saying, the laws of mind, once you take it's in biblical terms, it would be like dealing with the 10 Commandments. You know what I mean? But it's just more in depth with the laws of mind. But these are things that once you internalize, you just can't go out and go into the world and act a certain way or do a certain thing, because it's embedded in your being. It's very much similar to what we do in martial arts. Like, we have a saying: after all the training you do, seek perfection at the end of class. When you're humbly kneeling down, seek perfection of character, be faithful, endeavor, respect others, refrain from violent behavior. Now, if that's instilled in you, and you go out in this world, you might be in a situation in which some jerk, what I'm saying, it runs you off of the road or whatever the case may be, and he got a gun and a hot head, but you're able to not get all riled up, you know what I'm saying, and controlling your being, and live another day because you controlled your emotions. You know what I mean? That's
Wow.
that's why these laws are so.
That is so deep what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
That's so powerful. That is the law of energy.
Yeah.
The moment you get allowed to be in someone else's energy matrix, you lose
Mm-hmm.
control, and
Yeah.
you're not in control. And then next thing you know, someone else is can lead your destiny because
Yeah.
you got
Exactly.
energy matrix. But if you decide to remain peaceful and have self control and self discipline, you're
Mm-hmm.
vibrating that energy so strongly that it will shift the other being and neutralize them. It
Yeah.
will show them to them. It will then they'll see themselves before they see you. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you know what? I need to chill. I'll get adjusted because
Yeah.
if you
Mm-hmm.
remain neutral, they'll change.
Yeah.
And that's a very powerful thing.
Yeah, yeah, it is, and and that's I mean, people like kind of trip on those old kung fu movies, but you have those old Buddhist monks and all that stuff, and the way that they talk and the way that they handle themselves is like, you know, they don't have to. They know how lethal they are, but for you to even see how lethal they are, it would take a lot, from to even get that point. You know what I mean? Just because of the discipline, everything the chanting, the meditation, just because they're a higher level being, So it's not just a physical thing. It's also, even going when you're talking about Reiki, the Tai Chi, Qigong, all these different things, you evolve into something else because you tap into everything. You tap into the all, you know?
Yes, absolutely. And so that's why it's a collective of things we have to do. It's not just about believing. It's not just about physical changes in our career. You have to really do every single thing by connecting to the spirit, whatever it takes. So there is no rule book. That's the
Mm-hmm.
problem. So many people want to give you rules, but there is no rule book. You can
Yeah.
guide under the laws of the universe. You can honor the laws of Maya. You can honor the Ten Commandments. You can honor the Four Agreements. But it's essentially about whatever it takes to get to your spirit, because that's what it's about. Your spirit is the key because that's who you are. The physical
Mm-hmm.
is a temporary vessel that your spirit is doing its best to perform in. Your spirit is doing its best to um, operate in. Your spirit is wanting to find out its calling within the body.
Yeah.
And that's just sometime in the way. The world is in the way. The 3D is in the way.
Yeah. It's in the way. It's the prison. It's the prison.
It
That third dimension is the,
is to do whatever it takes to get to your spirit.
yeah.
If you think like that, you don't have to follow any doctrine because you're doing whatever it takes to get to your spirit. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's yoga. That's eating
Yeah.
healthy. That's
Mm-hmm.
getting sunlight. That's grounding in nature. That's exercising. That's communicating healthily. That's opening your chakras.
Mm-hmm.
Protecting your environment.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting because, like, even going back to what we were saying about our earlier conversation, because this world's had so many distractions, but like even you were saying about the Messiah, Yeshua, Jesus, back in his day, as we know in ancient Kemet, you when you went to the mystery schools, you weren't even able to be a priest until you're 40 after you're 40 years old. So they dedicated 40 years of their life, you know what I'm saying, just to learn, just to be at a certain point, you know what I mean, in which they were able to, you know, be a priest. So that's 40 years as a child, Could you imagine going back to what we were saying earlier about how we aren't who we used to be, but we still are. But could you imagine you and I's conversation 30, 40,000 years ago? You know what I mean? The language we were speaking, the earth we'd be seeing,
Yeah.
and so on and so on. You know what I mean? And the beautiful thing is like we're getting back to that slowly but surely. And ultimately it's inevitable in which we will be back. It's the cycles. It's the sun cycle. You know what I'm saying? We'll get back to who we were originally. It's inevitable. You can try to shoot people up with all this kind of strafe in their body. You can try to make them murder each other with crazy music, crazy food, all this kind of stuff, but it's inevitable. Just like you said earlier, the melanin. It's everywhere. You know what I'm saying? You know?
Chosen are the few. So
Yeah.
Whoever is chosen, they're already here. We're not. It's here right now. Heaven is here, and the awakening is here.
Yeah.
Self-awareness is key, and knowing thyself is key.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vast levels to the awakening, but we must operate through truth, love, and light. The three attributes of being one with God are truth, love, and light. And one cannot enter the kingdom unless he come with all three.
Yeah.
We must have the truth, we must have the love, and we must have the light.
I think in me personally, I had to unlearn a lot because how despicable this world is. Not nature, not the planet. I'm talking about the world, this man-made, this matrix. I had to unlearn so much stuff. Just like Yoda said in Star Wars, he's like, what he said, you must learn to unlearn or something like that. But you must learn. What did he say? He's pretty much saying everything you learn as far as is on the path of the Jedi, you got to unlearn it and almost start over again. I had to do a lot of stuff because this world was, when we look at it, it just deals with so much hate and division and misinformation and lies. You know what I'm saying? I really had to reprogram myself in a lot of ways to be able to deal with anybody that has the right mindset. I don't care about what it's sexual gender. I don't care about race or whatever. None of, but if you have that mindset and when you're trying to become better and and you are exuding love, I can be a part of that. I can rock with that. I can rock, I can converse with you. I can, that's where, and that's what our Dr. W. Blair used to talk about all the time. You know what I'm saying? He's like, people used to talk about all the hate and stuff, he was just like, man, but that's a God mindset. You know what I mean? As opposed to a low vibrational, almost an animalistic mindset. It took me a while to get there, but I have, I'm at the point now which I really understand now what a lot of these master teachers were saying about a lot of the love frequency and go on, and so on, I should say.
Yes, the love vibration. It's
Love
here.
vibration.
The love frequency, the love vibration, the love. That's what the 5D is all about.
Yeah.
The new about the love vibration, living from the heart, being one with the squirrel that comes up and chill with you, allowing the birds to come fly over you and just be one. Allow the plants to reach out and touch you with their limbs just from the frequency. So it's all about the love vibration, allowing your brother, sister, sisterhood, just overstanding, understanding. Love is understanding, but understanding within the being. So I'm very excited about giving the message of love to the people.
Yeah.
Giving the message of vibration of love. Yeah. It's not words.
It's so needed now, and even what you were talking about, what you do, I should say, not talking about what you do as far as the healing with Reiki, it is so needed right now, especially with our people, because, every time I try to limit my social media intake, but it's like every so often I'll hear such a crazy story that I can't even believe that I'm like, that can't be true. I heard some reason about some guy that a mom was visiting her kid's grave, and they shot the mom at the grave. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it's like, just the low vibrational lows that we just have on this third dimension right now. It can become disheartening, but at the same time, the karmic aspect of it all has to be, there has to be perspective looking at that as well, why that happened, or you know what I'm saying. But it's still tough, man. It's tough.
There are several agendas right now going on. There are multiple. There's a very high agenda, and there's everything that takes place has to pass through order for it to it had to happen. So there's cause and effect. There is some place that allowed that, which is why it's important to allow your energy and your spirit, your mind state, everything, what you're seeing, what you're hearing, what you're receiving. You want everything to be as pure as it can be. And you want your heart to be light as a feather.
Yeah.
No matter what. Because this world is going to be filled with delusions, distractions, and it's going to be filled with chaos. Because it's so much going on that's shifting. In order for everybody on the planet to wake up, and every single being is to have the open heart, then it's going to take a lot of destruction. It's going to take hundreds of years. So more people have to die, and it's not being like, oh, I hate that, we can't, it's just the truth.
Yeah, actual fact. That's actual fact.
There is a way that the lower man, mankind, he's trying his best to put his hands in it to depopulate. But then there's also the ushers of the light, who has to sustain order in the life, which is allowing it to happen. So nobody is bad.
Yeah. That's what you just said. Is something that is a question I have for you. Okay, maybe you can go in a little bit more detail from your personal insight. We do realize this, like you said, there's people that's trying to, like you said, depopulate, and they have an agenda and all this kind of stuff. How about the opposition to that? You know what I mean? Could you kind of talk about the opposition against mankind, and these individuals, the opposition that we have that's quote unquote on our side? What are we dealing with? Other beings, angels? Like what type of opposition are these people coming across?
I do know there are angelic beings right now that are they're everywhere. They're existing right now, and they're with us. They're with you, and they are protecting mankind. They love. They're protecting humankind. But our greatest defense right now is the sun, because that is the source of life. The source of all things is heating up the planet. Why? Because only those that can sustain the sun can live in the sun. The planet itself, all of nature is going to be the combat. Yeah. The vibration that is forcing it to rise.
Yeah, exactly. Even like I'm gonna have to title this Dr. Double Blair show, but
I know. I really thought about him when I was like, oh my God, I'm finally able to get out there and do what someone I love and one person that I gotta say I got from him besides my living.
Yeah. He went into great detail specifically about the sun, and he's like, I remember, I'm sure you heard him say, he's like, yo, people live on the sun, and it's not what you think it is. And he would go into talking about like how this energy and these waves of energy would come back. There's like waves of consciousness and these solar flares, and just like you were saying, it's being dispersed throughout the space, and it's coming into the earth, and it's like we're receiving this with the melanin, and it's like the sun is like y'all. If I'm waking up, y'all waking up. You know what I'm saying?
It's a shift in that. It's a paradigm shift.
Yeah,
so it's merging. Literally, it's merging from a separation to a oneness.
Yeah, oneness. Yeah,
we're being one in the spirit. We're being one with the essence of spirit. And we're able to see these things now and feel it. So everything Dr. Blair has prophesied has come to pass. It's coming to pass. And we're activated with our melanin from the sun. Just like you said.
And about a couple of podcasts ago, I had some good brothers of a secret society in the Order of the Sun. And I was telling them, I was like, and I'm going to add Dr. Blair's name to this, but I was like, Bobby Hemmett, because stuff like these individuals that I would, master teacher, I studied under, Bobby Hemmett, Dr. York, Dr. Blair, it's like these jokers, to me, they're like they're time travelers. Because all the information they were giving us back then, it's like today, it's like we're seeing all of it. You know what I'm saying? And it still amazes me to today. I'm like, yo, how did they know this? You know, but we've always had, and that's something else. We've always had these guides throughout all this time that always got us prepared, for this day and time, literally, and we're living in it.
Yes, it's never the messenger. It's always the message.
Yeah.
So it's always the stream of conscious information, the source where you can receive that information from the infinite source pool.
Yeah, exactly.
Einstein and Dr. Delbert Blair, everyone, they're receiving from the same source pool of information.
What they call the mental reservoir, the Akashic records, you know what I'm saying? The all, it's all there, you know what I'm saying? And just thinking about, going by what we said earlier, just thinking about how we all were at such a level when we had more than these, 5, 6 senses, whatever we have, when we were able to be completely connected to everything. It's an amazing thing just to know where we came from and, where we're going. So could you, tell the people, because we can kind of wrap things up. Could you kind of tell the people what services you have, where they can find you? Because I did put all your information in the description. So all the people that watch this, you will be able, all you got to do is go to my, what page was it? You know what? Actually, might have to repost it because of the way we did the IG live.
Okay.
Yeah, please tell the people how they can how they can get in contact with you, what service you have, and et cetera, et cetera.
Absolutely. It was my pleasure. Thank you for allowing me to tell them. So I just want you guys to know that we are the portals. The return of Christ Spirit is in your mind, and you can be assisted by contacting me. I can go through a comprehensive health plan for you if you're looking for anything to do with your holistic eating. You want to change your diet because you are what you eat. We have two stomachs. We have a stomach in the brain. We have a stomach in the I'm sorry, we have two brains. We have a brain in the stomach and a brain in the skull. So eating is so important. Fasting is important. Praying is important. Yoga is important. Breathing is important. And keeping a very high vibration is important. So reach out to me so that I can assist you through a Reiki healing session that will attune you to a higher vibration and put your specific need out there, and I can assist with that. You can also click on the link in my bio, which is at Neteru The Light, or you can go to linktree.com/Neteru, and from there you are able to buy the book Wisdom 101, which is a workbook that allows you 365 powerful Holy Spirit filled quotes, along with a way that you can journal what you receive from this impartation, because this is a gateway. This is not just a book. This is something that will power you to your next level. The people that have purchased this book have gone on business owners, authors themselves, and just very empowered for their own journey. So please, you can purchase this book by going to linktree.com/Neteru. You can also book my services, which will have a website available from that same link that we'll call Book Services. And you can find your own heart opening session, your Reiki healing session, your yoga session, or your private one-on-one counseling session. It's been my pleasure to assist you. We will have to do this again and maybe have another subject. And I think it would be awesome to do that again.
Well, just like I told you before we got on camera, we'll work on the technical difficulties, and we'll post this, all the places I can, but we can definitely go with a different subject, because when I do have a lot of repeat guests here that are, that they bring it just like you brought it today. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of powerful guests that give a lot of good information for the people. So think of a topic, we'll work on the technical difficulties, and we'll do it again. It's not a problem. Let's we'll shoot for early September if that works for you. We'll we'll
Sounds
keep
good.
on
I'm
knocking
hoping
it out.
I have notes here that I wasn't able to go over, but because we weren't able to start on time because of that technical difficulties, uh, I will save it and bring you on to something new.
I'm ready. I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited. This was very enlightening, and it's always good to. It's always what's the word? It's inspirational, and it makes you feel really good to just keep on being connected with great beings that are on a journey to assist others. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. You know, that's why I always start off my show and saying, I'm here to uplift humanity. You know what I'm saying? And also, like I say, to wake up the melanated beings that are asleep. But, you know, we all have to deal with this third dimension. We all have to live together on this planet. So we have to do our best to make this the best place we possibly can. And that starts with us.
Absolutely, that is so beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you for your the things that you're doing right now, for your time, your energy, your patience, your love, your wisdom, and your skills that bring you the ability to get out there and make this podcast happen and bring others to help other people on the planet. You are being rewarded for your gifts of service like that. Thank you.
I appreciate that, sis. I appreciate it 100%. And yes, I guess on that note, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Again, you know, if you haven't already, please follow the sister Neteru Light. Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Neteru The Light.
Yeah.
On Instagram, you can follow me. I'm always posting inspirational messages. I have a series called When Spirit Speaks. So I'll get a message and I'll put it out there, and it's always something that's relevant to the now consciousness, what the people need to know during that specific time period. I don't know anyone else out there that I can say I model besides Dr. Delbert Blair and besides my master teacher, which is Master Clark, Master Amaka. You can follow him, Omaka Zenji, as well on Instagram.
Okay. Well, y'all heard it. Y'all heard it here on the Polka Dot Rabbit podcast. You know what I'm saying? I done introduced y'all to another heavy hitter, so y'all can thank me later. So that's it for tonight. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate your time, you know, and definitely the good old September, that number 9 month. You know what I'm saying? We'll go with that number 9.
Do it. I'm excited.
Yeah, we're gonna make it happen. All right, peace, sis. And everybody else, you know,
Thank you.
ascension, power, love, and like the good brother Rod Hayes said, all tribes unite. You know what I'm saying? Besides that, until next time, peace.